I didn't like them. I didn't want them for the longest time. And I got them in '04, the first year, '05, and they've impacted me. They definitely have impacted my life. I fly in 2 combines, and the combine to the south I'm along with. And we finished last week, and I had the first 3 champion birds, and all 3 had Van Denneville in them. And they've just really, they seem to toughen up. But they're not pretty pigeons, they're not great handlers. But I think the key with them is the prolific birds. And what I mean is, it starts with the Wittenberg, the white belly. He was a foundation cock. He won 3 first provincials. The next pigeon was his son, the Colonel. He had 3 or 4 top 3 positions in the provincial. And his son, Bliscombe, which means lightning, won 3 first provincials. And then Bliscombe's children are unbelievable breeders. And they're the hottest ticket to buy right now. And, but they work. They're the real deal. They weren't nice pigeons. They weren't special pigeons to handle. But they were normal looking pigeons that had something special inside of them. And the next group is the cannibals. The cannibals come from Derek Van Dyke. And I've known Derek Van Dyke I bought the first pigeons from Derek Van Dyke in '87. And I've known him for years and years and years. When I raced in Belgium for 5 years, I was in his club. He's as nice a guy as you will ever meet. And he had a cock called Rambo, who was the father of Cannibal, and Rambo won 3 times first in the Antwerp Union. And he was a superstar. And his father was a son of the '03 from Gomor Leisens of Polderboss, and that was a Hofken kind of pigeon. And the mother come from a small sprint loft, and that pigeon, don't know what it was. It's some Marion Robergs. And I saw the parents, and the hen was as nice a pigeon as I've ever seen in my life, and the cock was as ugly a pigeon as I ever saw in my life. Looked like a parrot. He was terrible, terrible. I couldn't believe it, but the hen was gorgeous, and I thought she was Houben, because Marion Robergs was known for their Houbens. Well, Derek Van Dyke told me that she wasn't Houben. She had no Houben blood. She was just sprint pigeons. So Rambo won 3 first. As he was a yearling on the race team, he bred a cock called Borges, who won 2nd national against 40,000 pigeons. So he then stocked him, put him in the stock loft, and he bred Cannibal, who won 3 first in the Antwerp Union and another first, and he was the ace pigeon of Belgium. And Cannibal then bred a hen. There's one of the big awards, one of the biggest ceremonies held for awards in Belgium is the Golden Duff Awards from the Duff magazine, the pigeon magazine, the pigeon. The Duff is a pigeon, and it's a newspaper. And every March they have a big ceremony in a hall about twice as big as this whole deal, and they'll have 3,000 people from Holland, Belgium, Germany. And they give the Golden Duff Awards for the best flyer in each country. And Jan Hermans is the owner of the Duff magazine. He has a big auction to support this, help pay for all this. And he went, and this is a true story, he went to Derek Van Dyke's house and said, "Derek, can I get a bird off Cannibal, the ace pigeon of Belgium, for the auction?" So Derek, and this is exactly how Derek is, I know him very well. Derek went out the loft, he got 5 children of Cannibal, put them in a basket. And he says, "Jan, pick the one you want." Jan says, "Derek, you're too nice. You pick the one you don't want and give it to me." That hen was named the Golden Lady, and she bred the Kleine Dirk Koopman that was the ace pigeon of Holland, that founded Koopman, that really made Koopman hit the top. So you've got Cannibal, the ace pigeon of Belgium, breeding the grandfather of Kleine Dirk, the ace pigeon of Holland. Now, in '09, the ace pigeon of Holland was bred from a son of Bliscombe and a daughter of Kleine Dirk. So they were put together. And there's been a lot of success with Van Dennevilles put on these lines too. And of course, the third hot strain, and he really, I think as a Cannibal Kleine Dirk is one strain. But in reality, what's interesting here is Cannibal had no Jansen blood in him. Van Dennevilles had no Jansen blood in him. And when they were crossed to Jansen's, they brought hybrid vigor and real successes. That was the big deal. But Cannibal, of the Golden Lady, was paired to Koopman's Jansen Van Loon family to breed the Kleine Dirk. But the key to this thing is, I think the real key that we miss is they're very prolific lines. There's generation after generation after generation of superstars. Not just good pigeons, unbelievable pigeons. Unbelievable good pigeons. And they pass it down generation after generation, and you cross something on them, and they're still good. You cross something else back, but you can go in a straight line for a lot of generations with those pigeons, and they're just prolific breeders. And I think see Cannibal and Kleine Dirk as the same line, because one's the grandfather of the other. And of course, now the new strains are the Raw Sublons. And they're still out there getting tested. Pippa is making a lot of noise about them, and they're interesting. I have some. Last year I brought in about 40, and I had a lot more cocks than hens, and so I crossed the cocks that I had left after I paired them pure. And I flew some of them this young bird season. I've had 2 or 3 winners, and actually I'm very, very pleasantly pleased. I don't know if I'm surprised, but I'm sure pleased that they've flown like they have. And I brought in an additional 40 this year to play with. But that strain's a little diluted, and I don't think we really know where it's going, because a lot of people talks about Freddie as the key pigeon. And Freddie wasn't bred by Sablon. He was bred by Freddie Vandenheden. And he really was paired, his father was paired to a Sablon to breed Freddie, so he was only half. So there's a lot of commercialism going on there to make money, of course, and that's what they do, that's what the business is. And so we'll see how prolific they've been. I was over in September, and the reason they're Raw Sublons, that's a partnership, but Sablon lives next door to, I went blank, the guy was the national champion, Albrecht, Marcel Albrecht. Marcel Albrecht, a lot of houses in Belgium are duplexes, they're split right down the middle, it's pretty common. And Albrecht and Sablon live next to each other in the duplex, and their yards split right down that white line, and Sablon's breeders are here and Albrecht's racers are right here. And he flew him. And Albrecht was the he had the ace pigeon of Belgium one day long distance. He was twice one day long distance champion of Belgium, not flying a big team. And I was at his house with Andre Roodhoff in September, first time I'd been there, and looked at the pigeons. They're nice pigeons, they look good. But he's selling everything he can breed as fast as he can get it bred. There's a lot of pressure from China to buy these pigeons right now. But they appear to be the real deal so far. But, you know, there's a lot of people that's spending a lot of money on them. But those are the hottest lines right now, without a doubt, you know. I used to say that all the modern day strains we fly today came from Antwerp area of Belgium. And that was true up until the Van Dennebills. Because prior to this, the really hot modern day strains, the Jansens, the Mullemans, the Hofkins, they all came in Antwerp region, or that province. But now you're starting to see it everywhere. Holland, we had the Jan Ardens. They come out of Holland. And then the sprint pigeons, they kind of come from certain areas. And if you go to Belgium or Holland and you want to find certain kinds of pigeons, Belgium, they are specialty flyers. They're program flyers. And what that means is different clubs have different programs. When I raced there with Van Elsacker, we had to fly in 3 different clubs to fly all the programs. This club over here, the Schilde Club, which we were a quarter of a mile from, in the Schilde Club we could only fly the sprint races, which we used for training. And the sprint races were always Sunday. And there was from Crivrain, which was about 65 miles, or from Wyon, and Wyon's an N silent, it's N-O-Y-O-N, and it's about 130 miles. And those are Sunday races, Crivrain was Wyon shipped Saturday afternoon about 1 o'clock, Crivrain was shipped Saturday night. And they're released Sunday, and they would get home within